When Stargate hit theaters back in 1994, the movie kicked off a sci-fi legacy that would grow into one of the most beloved franchises on TV. Stargate was one of those movies that kind of snuck up on people, a mix of both sci-fi and ancient history. It was a popcorn action flick with some notably heartfelt beats, directed by German filmmaker Roland Emmerich, who co-wrote the script with producer Dean Devlin. While the movie achieved significant success in its October release window, it was definitely better received by audiences than by critics. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the original cast of the movie and see what they've been up to since. Before we get too deep into things though, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to the channel. It's a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Kurt Russell, Colonel Jack O'Neill. Before the Stargate ever opened, Kurt Russell was already a Hollywood veteran. Born in Springfield, Massachusetts back in 1951, Russell got his start in the spotlight as a kid, popping up in Disney classics like The Computer Wore Tennis Shoes and Follow Me Boys. He even had dreams of going pro in baseball and got close, but a torn rotator cuff cut that short. Lucky for us, he leaned fully into acting, and unlike a lot of child stars, Kurt didn't fade away. In the 70s, he took on heavier roles, playing real-life sniper Charles Whitman in The Deadly Tower, and later slipping into the shoes of Elvis in the 1979 biopic. That film kicked off his longtime collaboration with director John Carpenter, and together they made history, with Russell transforming into the eye-patch-wearing anti-hero Snake Plissken in Escape from New York. Flash forward to Stargate in '94, and Russell was channeling a more grounded, brooding intensity as Colonel Jack O'Neill. Colonel Jack O'Neill was a battle-hardened Air Force officer with a background in special ops and a no-nonsense attitude that masked something deeper, something broken. When we meet him in Stargate, he's at one of the lowest points in his life. After the tragic death of his young son, who accidentally shot himself with Jack's own pistol, O'Neill falls into a dark spiral. He doesn't care if he makes it back from his next mission. That mission happens to be a top-secret expedition through the Stargate, a mysterious alien device that opens a portal to another world. He teams up with a group of airmen and Dr. Daniel Jackson. Their orders are clear: explore the other side, and if there's any threat, detonate a nuclear bomb to prevent it from coming back through. But once they land on Abydos, something shifts. Jack meets Skara, a curious, kind-hearted boy who reminds him of what he lost. As tensions rise and they come face-to-face with the alien tyrant Ra, O'Neill starts to reconnect with life again. In the end, he helps to take down Ra, saves the planet, and returns to Earth with a little more hope than when he left. Russell didn't stop with this character either. He reprised his role as Snake in the 1996 film Carpenter's Escape from L.A., but it didn't do as well. From the gritty tension of Miracle to explosive blockbusters like Poseidon and Deepwater Horizon, Russell has never been far from the action. In recent years, he's continued to steal scenes, whether it's as the charming but dangerous stuntman Mike in Tarantino's Death Proof, Ego in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, or even as Santa Claus in The Christmas Chronicles. And of course, there's his role as Mr. Nobody in the Fast and the Furious franchise, proving that even after decades, Kurt Russell is still effortlessly cool. James Speder, Dr. Daniel Jackson. Born in Boston in 1960, James Speder worked a bunch of odd jobs, loading railroad cars, teaching yoga, you name it. After he caught his break in the 80s, he quickly became known for playing enigmatic, often morally gray characters. From the preppy jerk in Pretty in Pink to the cold, calculating attorney in Sex, Lies, and Videotape, Speder has this uncanny ability to play sleazy characters really well. One of his most successful films commercially was Stargate, where he played Dr. Daniel Jackson. In Stargate, Dr. Jackson's theory is that the pyramids are way older than mainstream archaeology believes. That doesn't exactly win over the academic crowd. An older woman named Catherine Langford steps in. She believes in his work and gives him a job deciphering strange symbols found on an ancient device unearthed in Egypt. With Jackson's knack for ancient languages, he cracks the code and activates the gate, opening a portal to another world. He's pulled into a military expedition led by Colonel Jack O'Neill, and together they step onto the sands of Abydos, a planet that looks and feels a lot like ancient Egypt. Daniel meets a young woman named Sha'uri, and over time they fall in love. He finds something on Abydos he never had on Earth: belonging. After helping to lead a rebellion against an alien tyrant, Ra, and freeing the people of Abydos, Daniel makes a choice. He doesn't return home with the rest of the team. Instead, he stays, and back on Earth, O'Neill tells everyone that Daniel Jackson did not survive the mission. After Stargate, James Speder didn't slow down. he popped up in a string of offbeat roles: 2 Days in the Valley, Keys to Tulsa, Critical Care, and the psychological thriller The Watcher in 2000. He even made a memorable cameo in Seinfeld, but it was in 2002 that Speder turned heads with Secretary, where he starred opposite Maggie Gyllenhaal. The movie dove into the complexities of a sadomasochistic relationship. Then came his TV career, and Speder owned it. In 2003, he joined The Practice as slick, morally flexible attorney Alan Shore. The performance was such a hit, he spun the character off into Boston Legal, where he teamed up with William Shatner for one of the most unexpectedly brilliant legal duos in TV history. Over 5 seasons, Speder won not 1, not 2, but 3 Emmy Awards for the role. In 2011, Speder joined The Office as Robert California, the world's most unsettlingly confident boss. Then came The Blacklist. As the criminal mastermind Raymond Red Reddington, Speder reinvented himself, this time as the charming rogue with a dangerous edge and a wardrobe to kill for. That role alone ran for 10 seasons and brought him to a whole new generation of fans. Oh, and let us not forget Avengers: Age of Ultron, where he voiced the titular villain with a mix of menace and dry wit that only Speder could pull off. J. Davidson, Raw. J. Davidson was not a trained actor. In fact, he had 0 professional experience when he was spotted at the wrap party for Edward II. Someone suggested he audition for an upcoming indie film called The Crying Game. And just like that, everything changed. Davidson landed the role of Dill, and what followed was one of the most iconic plot twists in film history. The Crying Game was a critical and commercial success, but it was that scene, the one where Dill undresses and the character Fergus realizes Dill is a transgender woman, cemented it in pop culture. The moment was bold, intimate, and fairly dependent on Davidson's ability to completely inhabit the role. Their performance earned Davidson an Academy Award nom for Best Supporting Actor, along with a BAFTA nod and recognition from the Chicago Film Critics Association in both their Most Promising Actor and Most Promising Actress categories. Then, in 1994, Davidson played Raw, the androgynous alien god in Stargate. Ra, the villain in Stargate, was the last of an alien race from the planet Abydos. As his original body began to deteriorate, Ra used his ability to transfer consciousness and took over the body of a young human boy on prehistoric Earth. Using his superior technology, he enslaved humanity and was worshipped as a god, laying the foundations for ancient Egyptian civilization. He also created the Stargate. Eventually, humans rebelled, forcing Ra to flee Earth and abandon Stargate. The team, led by Colonel Jack O'Neill and archaeologist Daniel Jackson, followed the reactivated Stargate to Abydos, where they discovered Ra still alive and ruling over the planet. After learning the truth about Ra's tyranny, Jackson helped the local population rise. When Ra attempted to escape with a reprogrammed bomb, O'Neill and Jackson used a ring transporter to send the bomb onto Ra's departing ship, destroying him once and for all. After this film, despite the fame and accolades, Davidson stepped away from acting not long after. He later admitted he genuinely hated the fame that came with the spotlight. Instead, he returned to the world of fashion, where he started working as both a model and a stylist, particularly in Paris.
What is that?
It's your Stargate.
Veca Lindfors, Dr. Catherine Langford. Of all the characters who help unlock the mystery of the Stargate, none are more important or more often overlooked than Dr. Catherine Langford. Played in the film by veteran actress Veca Lindfors, Catherine is the one who brings Dr. Daniel Jackson into the fold, recognizing that his radical theories about ancient Egypt might just be the missing piece to a puzzle she's been trying to solve her entire life. We first meet Catherine as a determined older woman with a quiet sense of urgency. She's been carrying the weight of the Stargate's secrets ever since she saw the device unearthed in Giza as a young girl, and now, decades later, she's leading a government-backed research team at a secret military facility. For Veca Lindfors, this is one of the last few roles of her life. She was a celebrated Swedish actress with a career that spanned continents and decades. She was trained at the Royal Dramatic Training Academy in Stockholm and became a star in Swedish theater and film before moving to Hollywood in 1946 under contract with Warner Bros. Over her lifetime, she appeared in more than 100 films, including Night Unto Night, The Sure Thing, and Creepshow, acting with legends like Charlton Heston, Glenn Ford, and Errol Flynn. She also made her mark on stage, performing on Broadway and London's West End, and frequently appeared on television. In 1990, she won an Emmy for Life Goes On, adding to a previous nomination for A Question of Guilt. Lindfors earned the Silver Bear for Best Actress at the 1962 Berlin Film Festival for No Exit. Later in life, she taught acting in New York and continued working until her final year, starring in Last Summer in the Hamptons and performing at Stockholm's Strindberg Festival. Her role in Stargate was just one chapter in an extraordinary career. She died just 1 year after the film was released in 1995. Alexis Cruz, Skara. In Stargate 1994, Alexis Cruz plays Skara, the son of Kasuf and one of the first Abydonian characters we meet. Though young, Skara plays a key role in the resistance against Ra, but it is his relationship with Colonel Jack O'Neill that leaves a lasting impression. O'Neill is still silently mourning the accidental death of his son when he meets Skara. The bond that forms between them, one part big brother, one part surrogate father, gives O'Neill a reason to start healing. In Skara, he finds a spark of the boy he lost, and for Skara, O'Neill becomes a figure of strength and quiet guidance. Alexis Cruz made his film debut back in 1987 with The Pickup Artist, starring Robert Downey Jr. and Molly Ringwald, but it was Stargate that truly put him on the map. He later returned to the role in Stargate SG-1, making him one of the few actors to cross from the movie into the long-running TV universe. Over the years, Cruz has built a steady acting career, showing up in films like Sam Raimi's Drag Me to Hell and Why Do Fools Fall in Love. He has also made his mark on television with appearances on ER, NYPD Blue, and American Family. In more recent years, Cruz has balanced fatherhood, welcoming his son in 2019, with new roles, including a part in HBO's Love Life and a guest appearance on FBI in 2021. While Skara remains his most recognizable character, Cruz has proven that he is a consistently strong presence on screen, whether it's in the middle of a cosmic rebellion or in a modern crime show. Millie Avital, Shah-Re. Millie Avital plays Shah-Re, the daughter of Kasuf and the woman who catches the heart of Dr. Daniel Jackson. Her introduction into the film is complicated. She's essentially presented to Jackson as a gift, but beyond that, Shah-Re becomes an emotional anchor for Jackson. As the mission unfolds and the fight against Ra intensifies, their bond deepens. By the time the dust settles and Ra is defeated, Jackson chooses to stay behind on Abydos, not just for the mysteries the planet holds, but for Shah-Re as well. For Avital, Stargate was a breakout moment. Born in Israel, she was still relatively new to Hollywood when she landed the role with just a couple of screen credits to her name, but after Stargate, the doors opened wide. Through the late 90s, she was everywhere, appearing in films like Dead Man, Jim Jarmusch's surreal western where she played a former prostitute opposite Johnny Depp, and the romantic comedy Kissing a Fool, where she found herself caught between David Schwimmer and Jason Lee. She later took on the role of Scheherazade in ABC's Arabian Nights miniseries, filming across Morocco and Turkey before returning to Israel to continue her work on stage and screen. But she had never vanished from American television completely, still popping up in shows like Law & Order SVU as recently as 2015. While Shah-Re might have been her first big role, Millie Avital has kept carving her own path ever since. Leon Rippy, Major General West. Leon Rippy might not have made it to Stargate SG-1, but he was the original man in charge when the gate first opened on the big screen. In Roland Emmerich's Stargate, 1994, Rippy played Lieutenant General W.O. West, the straight-shooting officer who oversaw the mission that sent Dr. Daniel Jackson and Colonel Jack O'Neill to another world. While Don S. Davis would take over the commanding role on television as General Hammond, Rippy helped lay the groundwork in the film that started it all. By the time Stargate came along, Rippy was already a familiar face to Roland Emmerich fans. The South Carolina-born actor had popped up in Moon 44 and Universal Soldier, and their working relationship didn't end there. After Stargate, Rippy appeared in Emmerich's The Patriot alongside Mel Gibson and had roles in The 13th Floor and the creature flick Eight-Legged Freaks, which Emmerich produced. Though his film appearances have slowed down in recent years, one standout being a role in The Lone Ranger, Rippy has carved out a strong reputation on the small screen. He was a regular on HBO's Deadwood, where he played the soulful saloon owner, Tom Nuttall, and popped up in shows like Saving Grace, Alcatraz, Leverage, and Under the Dome. In 2016, he reunited with Stargate co-star James Speder in The Blacklist, and in 2019, he returned to Deadwood one last time for the long-awaited TV movie. John Diehl, Lieutenant Colonel Kowalski. In Stargate, John Diehl steps into the role of Lieutenant Kowalski, Colonel Jack O'Neill's dependable second-in-command and a steadying presence when things go south. When Ra's forces ambush the team and take them captive aboard his massive pyramid ship, it's Kowalski who helps keep the group focused and alive. Though he didn't return for Stargate SG-1, where Jay Iacovone would take over the character, Diehl left a solid impression in the original film as the kind of guy you'd want watching your back in an alien war zone. By the time Stargate came around in 1994, Deal had already built a name for himself as a versatile character actor. He had shared the screen with Kurt Russell once before, way back in Escape from New York, playing a punk in John Carpenter's dystopian cult classic. From there, his presence only grew. He spent time as Detective Larry Zito on Miami Vice, showed up in Joel Schumacher's legal thriller The Client, and then joined Roland Emmerich's sci-fi roster. After Stargate, Deal continued to land a steady stream of roles in both film and television. He's popped up in everything from A Time to Kill, Nixon, and Jurassic Park 3 to Pearl Harbor and the indie western Out of the Wild, where he played a grizzled alcoholic cowboy searching for redemption. On TV, he's been equally busy, with memorable appearances in The West Wing, The Shield, NYPD Blue, and even the FX drama Snowfall, where he played Colonel McDonald. Whether he's in a sci-fi epic or a gritty drama, Deal brings a kind of quiet intensity to every role he takes on. Jaon Hanu, Horace. Before he became one of Hollywood's most recognizable character actors, Jaon Hanu was just beginning to carve out his path, and Stargate was one of the first stepping stones. Born in Benin and raised in France, Hanu started his career in the spotlight, not on the big screen, but in music videos. He appeared in a string of them in the late 80s and early 90s, including Tina Turner's I Don't Want to Lose You, En Vogue's Hold On, and Janet Jackson's iconic Love Will Never Do Without You. When Roland Emmerich cast him as Horace, one of Raw's imposing guards in Stargate, it was Hanu's first ever feature film. But it was only a matter of time before Hollywood caught up to him. Just a few short years later, in 1997, he played the leading role in Steven Spielberg's Amistad as Joseph Cinque, a slave who started a rebellion on a slave ship. The raw, powerful performance earned him a Golden Globe nomination and placed his name on the list of every casting director to watch. Following this, more critical acclaim would come with two movies, America in 2002 and Blood Diamond in 2006, both of which earned him Academy Award nominations for Best Supporting Actor. In more recent years, Hanu has become a familiar face in the world of superheroes. He's played Korath the Pursuer in Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain Marvel, and reprised the role in Marvel's What If series. Over in the DC universe, he's taken on multiple characters as well, voicing King Riku in Aquaman, portraying the mystical wizard in Shazam, and playing the powerful sorcerer Midnight in Constantine. From Raw's enforcer to a staple in two cinematic universes, Jaon Hanu's journey has been as great as the story he helps bring to life. Eric Avari, Kasuf. In Roland Emmerich's Stargate, Avari plays Kasuf, the kind-hearted elder of Abydos who welcomes the Earth visitors with open arms. It's his daughter, Shade, who ends up with Dr. Daniel Jackson, played by James Speder, and while the whole marriage gift situation starts awkwardly, the two do genuinely fall in love. Avari's warmth in the role helped make Kasuf one of the few film characters to carry over into Stargate SG-1, where Avari reprised the part in several episodes during the show's early seasons. After Stargate, Avari kept the sci-fi momentum going with a quick appearance in Emmerich's blockbuster Independence Day as a scientist, but he truly made an impression with audiences in The Mummy, 1999, where he played Dr. Terence Bay, the no-nonsense curator of Cairo's Museum of Antiquities. From there, his filmography just kept growing. He was in Tim Burton's Planet of the Apes, popped up as a lawyer in Mr. Deeds with Adam Sandler, and even ran a hot dog cart in the tearjerker Hachi, A Dog's Tale. Gamers might know him as the voice behind Master Rahul in Destiny and Destiny 2, where his steady tone became instantly recognizable to millions of players. Most recently, he took on the role of Nicodemus in the faith-based series The Chosen. Brent Stewart, Lieutenant Louis Ferretti. Before he became a household name as the hilariously clueless Harry Solomon, Brent Stewart had a much more serious introduction to the big screen. His first feature film role came in Stargate, where he played Lieutenant Ferretti, a soldier tasked with helping oversee the off-world mission to Abydos. Ferretti is left in charge of the second unit when the team first sets up on the desert planet, but when a massive sandstorm rolls in, he's forced to take cover in Raw's temple, a move that proves to be a very bad one. One by one, his men are ambushed by Raw's guards, and Ferretti himself is eventually captured. The role may not have been comedic, but it showed Stewart could hold his own in a tense, action-heavy story. Of course, just a couple of years later, Stewart launched into fame as Harry Solomon in Third Rock from the Sun. He stayed with the beloved sitcom for its entire run from 1996 to 2001. After that, he carved out a steady career in television, popping up in everything from That 70s Show and Ally McBeal to Community and Bones. Stargate fans might have caught him again in Stargate Universe, this time in a different role as Dr. Andrew Covell. More recently, Stewart had a long-running part as Chef Rudy on the CBS sitcom Mom, and he joined Ellen Burstyn and James Caan in the 2021 comedy Queen Bees. Whether he's making you laugh or showing up in sci-fi classics, Brent Stewart has proven to be one of those actors who always leaves a memorable mark. Christopher John Fields. Lieutenant Freeman. Christopher John Fields, born September 23, 1968, is a man who plays many parts in the Los Angeles theater scene. As an actor, director, and teacher, he wears many hats, but perhaps his most enduring legacy is as the founder and artistic director of the Echo Theater Company. Since launching it in 1997, Fields has helped shape the Echo into one of LA's most respected and award-winning venues for bold contemporary work. He had a brief but memorable turn in Stargate as Lieutenant Freeman, one of the soldiers assigned to Colonel Jack O'Neill's unit. As artistic director, Fields has helped make countless productions from concept to stage, mentoring emerging voices and pushing boundaries along the way. Before all that, Fields was an actor in films like Apollo 13 and Jurassic Park, both times working under director Ron Howard. He also made his mark on television with appearances in shows like ER, The X-Files, and Ally McBeal. Derek Webster. Senior Airman Brown. You can't have a proper sci-fi adventure without a few casualties along the way, and in Stargate, one of the first to fall was Lieutenant Brown, played by Derek Webster. Assigned to the Stargate mission after Dr. Daniel Jackson cracked the mysterious Constellation Code, Brown was part of Colonel Jack O'Neill's team when they stepped through the gate to Abydos. He stayed close to Jackson and O'Neill as they first made contact with the locals and even got a taste of Abydonian cuisine before fate caught up with him. He was killed by one of Ra's elite guards, a quick but memorable exit in a film packed with tension. Long before Stargate, Webster made his on-screen debut in the 1981 martial arts flick Enter the Ninja. He popped up in an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation in 1993, just a year before his Stargate appearance, and that helped cement his status as a reliable sci-fi presence. Roland Emmerich clearly saw something he liked because Webster was invited back for roles in Independence Day, where he's the unlucky pilot in the chopper blown to bits during humanity's first contact attempt, and Godzilla, where he commanded the USS Utah submarine. In the years that followed, Webster carved out a steady career on television. He had recurring roles and guest spots on shows like JAG, Boston Legal, Bones, and Nip/Tuck. He played D.A. Jackson Holt in Ray Donovan and even went back to his Star Trek roots with an appearance as a Romulan in Star Trek Picard in 2020. Marvelous verdict! Well, with that, guys, we've come to the end of yet another marvelous video. That wraps up our dive into the original Stargate film cast, where they came from, where they went, and how this iconic 90s sci-fi adventure helped shape their careers. It's wild to look back and see how many familiar faces got their start in this film, but now we want to hear from you. Who's your favorite character from the original Stargate? Did you prefer the movie or the TV show SG-1? And which actor's post-Stargate career surprised you the most? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos just like this one. Thanks for watching, stay safe out there, and we'll see you next time.